Hi, I'm Dix Astro Coach, and welcome to my live Facebook stream for the full moon in Leo, which is taking place on Wednesday the 16th. And if you're watching this a little bit later via my YouTube channel, welcome so much to my YouTube channel. And while you're here, I'd really love it if you could subscribe. That would be super fantastic and a real nice gift for Valentine's Day. So how will this full moon affect the love and nice feeling that we get around Valentine's Day? Because we have got that energy all around this full moon. And it feels to me, because this full moon is actually quite karmic. Now I'm going to look at what Leo represents in a minute, but this is a karmic full moon, so that decisions that are made at this time are really going to be fated, as if they are meant to be. So it bodes well for any relationships that maybe one has not quite known which way they're going or how they're going to unfold, because I do feel that this Leo full moon, and with some of the other energy that's going on at the moment, could see quite a significant change in one's relationship status, if that's what you're looking for. So let's look first of all at who is Leo. Let's look at Leo energy. Well, Leo, of course, is the sign of the lion, the king of the jungle. And Leo is ruled by the sun. Now, the sun currently, of course, is opposite the moon. Hence, we get a full moon. So the sun is in Aquarius. And Leo is very much about creativity and about passion. Leo is about fun. It's about really kind of enjoying the creativity and party kind of side of life that is available to all of us. The sun represents life, health, and vitality. So we have that energy with Leo. And Leo, of course, loves the limelight, partying, being centre stage, sometimes in their own drama, but they won't mind that. And Leos as a sign, and it depends, and this includes if you are a Leo ascendant, then, you know, if you know about your ascendant, and I have got a video on my YouTube channel all about why the ascendant or the rising sign is so important. So do check that out. And in fact, I'll drop a link in the description box for you. But Leos often have wonderful heads of hair. And even if their genes did not bless them with an abundance of beautiful golden locks, then what will happen is that it'll be like, don't touch my hair. Don't mess with my Leo mane. So think big cat, think proud lion. This describes Leo. So how's this full moon going to affect us and the planet? Well, there's a lot going on behind the scenes to do with world events at the moment. And I'm not going to take us too deeply into that, because it'll be interesting to see how things unfold, because Leo represents kings and leaders. And I think that's really super interesting, because this kind of energy is about what ends on the world stage is timely. So there is something about this energy of the Leo full moon, which is about a leader, or maybe even leaders, having to step back or back down. So I wonder what that could be about. I mean, there is so much that could apply to. on the world stage at the moment. But because this full moon is closely linked with the nodes of the moon. Now, the nodes I've talked about before, and they are these points in time, which is to do with the ecliptic path of the moon and the sun and the earth. And this full moon is making quite a hard angle to the nodes. So this means this full moon is very karmic. It is a meant to be full moon. And when it's karmic, when it's fated, it means that whatever might be happening on the world stage is taken out of the hands of the people, and it's like endings are swift and decisive. We will have to see how that plays out in current events. Before I come on to how the moon is going to affect you personally, I just want to talk about the fact that we have Pluto in Capricorn, that is our planet of transformation, conjunct Mercury. Now, Mercury is the messenger planet. And I think that with regard to world events, we can see tough talk, a need for the truth. Pluto wants change. Pluto is saying, and just think in general, what's happening in the world, in Europe. Pluto's telling us the old ways don't work. The way governments are approaching difficulties and problems and challenges do not work anymore. Now, Uranus, our planet of the unexpected and shock and surprise and rebellion, is making a very helpful aspect. And that's to Mars and Venus, who are also in Capricorn, kind of walking hand in hand and looking at how we can bring things together and find some kind of common ground. Change is inevitable. And I feel that the general feel of, if we bring all the threads of this energy together, it's attention to details. And if the attention to details and diplomacy is applied, then good solutions can be found all round. But we will have to wait and see. But now, how is this moon going to affect you? Or me? Us? I think there's a huge potential for fun with this full moon. And I think, if we're looking at the Valentine's energy, which we have around at the moment, as I said, it's really giving the sense that it's a potentially an amazing time for commitment, if that's what you're looking for. And it could be that even if it's something you thought could never happen, then this full moon promises the opportunity to change your status from maybe single to in a relationship. So interesting energy we have. You see, it's always up to us how we use the energies that are represented by each astrological event. But at the moment, on a personal level, relationships have a fated feel about them. And just as a last point about what's happening on the world stage, there is something fated about the energy that we have at the moment. And it's up to people to kind of step down from their egos and who's right and who's wrong, and just see that actually sometimes we have to compromise, because that is best for the collective. So use this Leo energy in the way that you can see that nothing is impossible. Because change is possible when we want it and when we work for it. Because even if you're happily single, you have to think about what habits could I let go of with this energy to have a better relationship with myself. You need to find that Leo energy within you and inhabit that self-confidence and self-belief that the Leo energy can bring. Because we all deserve to be kings of our domain. So this is a full moon to shine, and shine bright. Now, I'm going to go on to how each of the 12 zodiac signs could be affected by the energies of this full moon. Based on your personal circumstances, you'll have to decide how that's going to play out for you. So, first of all, if you know what your ascendant or rising sign is, then it's really important to listen to that too. If you don't know what your rising sign or ascendant is, ask me. I can do it in about 4 minutes. I can work it out for you. Won't cost you a thing. And the other thing that you can do is, if you go on Mr. Google, there are a lot of astrology sites that if you say, I want to know what my ascendant is, and I'll explain why the ascendant is important in a minute, but what you do is you just put all your information into their kind of rising sign or ascendant calculator, and it will tell you what your ascendant is. The reason it's important is because it determines the areas of your life that the current astrological energies are really affecting. So even though you might be a Sun Libra, you might have an Aries ascendant. And if you're an Aries ascendant, then this full moon is going to be in a part of your chart that is completely different from where it would be if we just looked at Libra. I mean, listen to both, because I think they both give you a very good insight, and you have to sort of pick and choose what kind of sits with you as to what is right. But that was just a quick or a brief sort of explanation of why understanding what our rising sign is so important about. So let's look at Aries, because Aries, for you, the full moon is in the part of your chart that is to do with fun and partying. It's also to do with love affairs and relationships, but it's the relationships that don't necessarily have a kind of longevity to them, or at least not at the moment. So is there something or someone in your life that you would like it to change from a kind of casual status into something a little bit more solid and committed? Because this full moon gives you that opportunity if that's what you're looking for. We also need to look at where the karmic energy is for you in your chart. And for you, it's in the part of your chart that is very much connected with your finance and also to do with other people's money. If you have investments, or if you have joint finances with someone. So this tells me that you need to be careful what you kind of sort of lay out at the moment in terms of your funds. So just be mindful of any relationship where money is involved, that the boundaries are clear, that you can see clearly how these money issues can be addressed. Let's move on to Taurus, because Taurus, of course, is the sign of money, amongst other things, and it's also the sign of luxury and just feeling kind of really comfortable and enjoying the luxuries of life. So Taurus, this full moon in Leo is in the part of your chart to do with your home. And I feel that what this moon is telling you is that you may want to make some changes at home. Maybe you want to actually move house. So that may be something that you're actually looking at the moment. And because the karmic part of your chart is very much to do with you and how people experience you as a person and how you relate to your partner, if you have one. But this can also be close friends and business colleagues. So this is like you have to make a decision. You have to decide where you are focusing your main energies. Is it on your home and family, or is it with your partner? Because it seems that there's some clash or some clashes. So you have to decide what is the best way to proceed forward with these ideas that you have about making changes at home. Gemini. So for you, this full moon is in the part of your chart that is actually really good for you because it's about communication and your thinking processes. I have a feeling you are going to be making some decisions about short distance travel. You may also be looking to make longer distance travel in the near future, but you're certainly thinking about how you could just structure things in your life. And I think you just want to go away and have some fun, actually, Gemini. I really do feel that's incredibly important for you. And the karmic part of your chart is very much to do with the inner you and how you function on a day-to-day basis. How do you operate your routine? How does that work for you? Are there changes that you need to make? Because this Leo full moon is saying, if this way doesn't work, change it, end it, find a different way of doing things. Don't keep doing the same old. If it's not getting you the results that you want, change it. Cancer. Cancer, for you, this full moon is in the part of your chart that is connected with your finances. So how is your piggy bank at the moment? Is it rattling nicely with some coinage in there? Or do you have to look at your budget and actually decide that certain things need to be pruned away? Because I think there's been a lot of probably kind of extravagances going out to do with fun things and projects and things that are really sort of really much more creative that can eat up the money. And this full moon is saying, just be careful, take a step back, just look at your financial situation in the cold light of day and think about what is the best way forward for me now with how I structure things so that there's enough left in the piggy bank for the future. Leo, this is your full moon. And this full moon, of course, is all about you. You shine when you have a moon, full moon in your sign. We all get it once a year, and this is your kind of once a year day. And it's also bringing in the energy of the part of your chart to do with your close relationships. So I do feel that you are going to be looking at who you are, how you come across to people, and what changes you need to make. Is there some sort of self-pruning that you need to do? Because sometimes, Leo, you are so kind of out there that people can't take you neat. And sometimes, even though I don't really believe that we need to dilute our energy, sometimes for certain situations, it's good to just kind of hold that back, but with the awareness that that's what we're doing. Now, the karmic part of your chart for you is to do with your work and your home. And I think there's a tension there. I think your workload is quite heavy, and I think your home life is also probably suffering because you're not kind of able to spread yourself into every single part of your life. So really, Leo, what you need to do with this full moon is look at what is kind of just extra in your life that really doesn't need to be there, and find a way to actually cut out the things in your life that are not actually helping you energy-wise. Virgo. So this full moon for you is about your inner world. This is about the heart, the part of you. It's like your psyche. And I think you have to find a point within you that you start thinking, there are certain ways that I behave that are not kind of regal enough for actually the self-worth and the self-value that I have for myself. I think you've got to stop being so hard on yourself, Virgo. Virgo, you have so many talents, so many qualities. Allow this full moon to shed light on that inner part of you, that soul part, that sun part of you. The sun is our soul. The sun is life. And come out from the shadows and don't keep that hidden. And the karmic side of the full moon for you is something to do with long distance travel, and as if you're deciding where you want to be. Do you want to be here, there? You're really not quite sure at this point how you see the next few months unfolding. Just actually let it go, because if you let it go, you know what? The answer will come and it'll be clear. We have to get out of our own way. I mean, I often say that, and quite a lot of sort of people who talk about these things will say the same thing, but we do get in our way. We get in the way. Our ego gets in the way. And we have to sometimes just step back. And Leo, interestingly, is more about ego, because it's about, hey, I'm the star, look at me. And, you know, there's something here. Actually, Virgo, you need to find a little bit more of that star quality in you and start shining. Libra. So Libra, this full moon for you is in the part of your chart that is very much to do with your dreams and hopes and wishes and the larger community and how you would like to produce something or create something in the outside world. And I think that it's important that you allow that creative energy full flow at the moment. Try not to block its flow. Let it really kind of flow through you and let the ideas come. Because, and what's interesting is that the karmic part of your chart is saying, don't be held back by fears of, oh, but what's it going to cost? And it's going to be expensive. And I don't know whether I can put the funds here where they would need to go if I launch this project. Stop it, Libra. Just allow the universe to speak through you, to guide you, to show you the best way forward. Now let's move on to Scorpio, because for you, this is about your work. This is about your career, your passion in life. What has to change? What is clashing with your home life. Because there's something here, the balance isn't right, Scorpio. And you need to really get some kind of balance between your working life and your home life. And the karmic part of your chart, Scorpio, is actually about your close relationships. And it feels as if something just has to go. It's either a way of a relationship being, a way of it, that it's always the same old story, same old problem. Either it has to change so that it can grow, or it has to go. So only you can know what that means for you, Scorpio. Sagittarius. Well, where do you want to go off to? I think you're thinking about pastures new and far distant lands and looking at what sort of travel you could bring in for this year. And this Leo energy is saying there's a bit of fire in your belly that's just saying, I want to change. I want things to change. I want to change my environment, even if it's just for a short while, so that you get a better sense of how you proceed forward. Because sometimes when we go away, when we come back, we see everything in a different light. And the nodes for you, which is the karmic part of your chart, are to do with your routine and your inner life. And I think you really need to have something that will break you out of things. I think it's got a little bit kind of cloyy and you've gone a little bit into yourself and got, caught in the daily routine. And that's just got a little bit tough for you. So you need to look at how you can change the energy in your life so that it's much easier to bring something fresh and new in. Capricorn. Capricorn. This full moon is about money. It's about joint finances. It's about anything that you have in pensions or anything like that. It's also actually interesting, the part of the chart that can be to do with commitment. As if you need to make a commitment to something which you perhaps have not been quite sure about whether you should do. Capricorn, you're very canny. You're very good at working out what you should do next and how you should structure your finance. You might do it quietly and you do it behind the scenes, but you do work away and find a way to get to the top of the current mountain of whether it's debt or just how you build your empire. But this full moon is saying you've got to look at what you need to streamline. What needs to go to help you channel that energy and that finance into something that works for you and certainly for any finances that are joint. And for you, the karmic part of your chart is saying, if you take some risks, Capricorn, it's really going to bode well for your kind of creativity. It's going to help you inhabit that kind of Leo energy that can help you break out a bit and be king of your domain, of your castle. Aquarius. So for you, Aquarius, this full moon is in the part of your chart connected with your close personal one-to-one relationships. What needs to change? What needs to shift or end? There's something that's been going on in your personal relationships, especially with a significant other, that just needs to change. And this full moon energy is saying you need to be in charge of it. If you can be in charge of it karmically, then it doesn't have to play out in a way where you're out of control of the situation or the result of it, the conclusion. So with this karmic energy, which is about the home, and it may be that there's some conflict with work and home and how much time you spend with your significant other, but you just need to make some structural changes. Just change things in a way that makes it more balanced and brings more light and warmth in to actually the family. And our last zodiac sign, of course, is Pisces. I always love doing my little fishes swimming in opposite directions. So Pisces, interesting full moon for you because it's about your day-to-day routine. I think you're streamlining it. I think you've got ideas. Suddenly it's like it all crystallizes and you're realizing what can stay and what has to go. And that is really working for you, Pisces. And also, you see, the karmic part of your chart is showing that if you do that, more knowledge can come to you. Your experience of the divine, I want to say, your experience of working with the energies and the vibrations of the universe will really actually make the way you communicate on a day-to-day level flow with much more ease. And like I've said to some or one of the other signs, we have to get out of our own way. Get out of the way of your ego, Pisces. Allow that divine flow to come through you, because that is the energy and the Leo energy for you with this full moon that can help you really shine and bring some of the projects that you want to initiate into being. So there we have it, the full moon in Leo. Where are we going to be when I do the new moon in Pisces it is? So the next new moon is in Pisces, and that's going to be, I'll be doing that in about 2 weeks' time. And that's it's actually on the 2nd of March. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me for this live video stream via Gozo in the House, who hosted me, apart from for this full moon video, for a lovely barbecue today. Yes, February in the sun in the Maltese Islands. It was stunning, and I have a shiny red nose. But it was lovely, and thank you, Gozo in the House, if you're watching this now. Thank you so much. It was a really lovely, lovely afternoon. A really nice way to spend a Sunday. And if you would like a one-to-one with me, then please check out my website, which I'll drop in the description box. And also, I just want to say I wish you a lovely full moon. It's an interesting one. They always are. Be prepared for unusual dreams, all sorts of things, because that's the kind of energy we can get with a full moon. So, wishing you all well, and I look forward to seeing you for the new moon, which I will be doing in a couple of weeks' time. And till then, take care. Bye for now.